Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I'm Cryptokip, and today we're going to be talking about Crypto.com coin, and we're going to be talking about the SEC and how it is cracking down on cryptocurrency. Will this affect exchange tokens? Will this affect Binance, FTX, and Cronos coin, Crypto.com exchange? I do believe there will be some interplay there on what's going to happen here with crypto in regards to regulation and what the SEC is doing, and other agencies within the government. So we'll talk a little bit about that and more in this video. If you guys like that kind of content, make sure you smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel, because we are giving away $1,000 worth of Bitcoin to one lucky subscriber when we hit 10,000 subscribers, and we're coming up fast, guys. So make sure you check that out. Don't miss out on your opportunity there. Let's hop into the charts. Let's take a peek at the market cap for the day. Bitcoin still hanging on. September was supposed to be very, very bearish, and you know what? It hasn't been as bad as we thought it'd be, right? We had a kind of a crazy dip down right after the Fed announced they were going to raise the interest rates yet again by 0.75%, and the markets came down below $1 trillion once again. We're at $940 billion market cap for crypto. Bitcoin dominance down slightly to 38.9. Ethereum dominance hanging on to that 17.4 level. Bitcoin's currently at 19,000. Ethereum's at $1,300. I am DCAing on ETH, you know it. Also, one thing I want to point out is that FTX coin hanging on to $23 and Cronos hanging on to just about 12 cents. Awesome pump yesterday out of Cronos. It went up about 17% over the last week. Yesterday that was down a little bit, so you kind of see that reflected here, right? 7% over the last 7 days here, but yesterday was an excellent pump. And really great to see considering all the news going on out in the market. So let's just take a peek at some of the stories. Just want to shout out to the Ripple army real quick. XRP jumped up 44% in a week after the Ripple moves, after Ripple team moves to dismiss the SEC lawsuit. And so the reason I'm bringing up Ripple right now is, one, you know, it is a pretty neat project, right? You can't really ignore it. As this lawsuit with the SEC is legendary, right? This is one of the biggest stories in crypto because we're talking about crypto regulation and how can Cronos, how can Crypto.com, how can FTX, Binance get affected by government regulation? Well, we got to kind of look to this case to kind of understand what's happening. And you'll see right now, the SEC is trying to say that XRP is a security, therefore they want to regulate it because the Securities Exchange Commission. So they want to handle all the securities. And it is kind of coming out, and breaking news is that this case might be coming to a close soon, maybe, and people have been saying this for a while, but they are feeling very optimistic. The Ripple team is feeling very, very optimistic, and they're even saying that the filings are showing that the SEC is acting outside their legal limits. Well, why is the SEC doing this? The SEC is not looking to apply the law. They are looking to remake a law in hopes that it can in hopes that they can expand their jurisdiction. You know, they want power, right? It's a little bit of a power grab. The crypto market is huge, and so to control crypto would be excellent. Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, you know, he does want to have control. He likes crypto. He just wants to regulate it. And so there's this big conversation there, and a lot of people are really fearful, right, that the SEC wants to kill crypto. Well, the SEC's biggest concern, in my opinion, is that they're going after these stable coins, and you know, that's kind of what they talk a little bit about in this article. This is an article by CoinDesk. You know, again, they're talking about how they want to remake the law rather than apply it. But when you look into some of the details here, you know, there is pretty much a specific discussion about stablecoins. And so that's kind of what they're focused on. They really do want to make sure that the US dollar is not being, I guess, sidestepped by some of these stablecoins. And that's kind of what they're focusing on in this case. You know, they're calling it a security. It's not a security, or, you know, I guess that's still up for debate, but they are on the attack. And when this case comes to an end, and if XRP basically gets, you know, acquitted, right, and they're good to go, and a judge rules that this is, you know, over, right, and then the SEC loses, it could be a very bullish event for crypto, and we could have some massive gains. We could have a, you know, a pump on account of that. And you've been seeing, as the news is getting more optimistic for Ripple, that going up. Imagine what that could do for the rest of the market, as these exchanges have been under threat from the government, right? So one thing I want to point out is Binance is one of these big exchanges. They're establishing a global advisory board, and they're trying to work on regulatory and political issues, which is clearly an issue, right? Gary Gensler is a big part of a big department in the US government, but there's other departments, right? There's so many other things. There's the IRS, and then there's Congress, and there's the Senate, and then there's other countries where they have to vote and veto and, assess these cryptocurrencies. What's the risk of stablecoins, right? What is the risk of decentralized markets? And so Binance is establishing this advisory board to help communicate, the yeses and the nos and the good things and the bad things in crypto to any governmental body across the globe. And so this is a really great step that they're currently taking, and there's other people that are taking similar steps, right? FTX's CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried, has actually gone to the White House. He's had discussions with the Biden administration about crypto, and that has been a big story. And he even has some comments about it. I'm going to get to that in a second, but Binance's CEO is a very good advocate right now, and he is saying, we always put our users first, and that served as a very effective North Star for us over the past 5 years of unprecedented and exciting growth. And if they continue to, want to grow, which they obviously do, being one of the leading exchanges in the world, they're going to need to make sure that they're compliant with a lot of different regulatory bodies across the world. And this group they established is going to be led by a former U.S. state senator, Max Baucus. Members include various figures, including Owasika, Haywing Bang, Bruno Bizard, Leslie Masdorp, Henry de Campos Mireles, Alberto Palma, David Plouffe, Christian Schaefer, Lori Vasey, and David Wright. So they got a lot of folks in here that are working as a team to make sure that, a government doesn't come in and kill crypto. And I don't think that's the goal. But, right, that's a lot of the fear that's happening out in the market right now. Another story I wanted to say is that, FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried will even admit in a podcast, and this was a pretty cool one. This is a story by the Daily Hodl, saying that regulation could prevent the next crypto contagion. And then he kind of starts pointing to, some of the things that have happened here with Three Arrows Capital and Celsius, right? And these were bad things, but the DeFi space, they held up quite well. And the DeFi space is doing very well, which is why Ethereum and Cronos and Binance Smart Chain are good projects, right? This is one of the biggest attractors for Crypto.com for me, is that it is big in the DeFi space. And FTX executive Sam Bankman-Fried admits that, right? But he starts talking, and I'm going to read off one of his quotes here. I think that one thing worth noting is when you look at the decentralized versions of these, they actually didn't have a big problem during the most recent crash. And the reason is that there was a lot of transparency on a lot of assets that were backing which loans. And that helped a lot. So I think having some regulatory oversight over the asset to loan ratios here would help make sure that these lending platforms are operating in a responsible manner. I'm going to pause here because this is very important to break this down. When he's talking about asset to loan ratios, right, you don't want to be over leveraged as an individual. Well, in a DeFi market, that is all very transparent. You can see that. It's open source. Everybody can see all the transactions on the ledger, and you can see the low asset to loan ratios. But when you're somebody like Three Arrows Capital or Celsius, that is a centralized entity, and you can do whatever you want. So how risky are they being? Well, you can see by what happened with the most recent crash in crypto and those bodies going bankrupt, Three Arrows Capital and Celsius Voyager having all these issues, they were not acting in a responsible manner. So what he's saying here is, yes, there will be regulation coming in, but it's only so that they can make sure that they're operating in a responsible manner. And honestly, that's exactly what we need. He also goes on to say, I think some of these problems have been brewing for quite a while before they actually ultimately surfaced. And so I think just having a bit of oversight and transparency, I do think would actually go a pretty long way here towards helping. And I agree completely, Sam Bankman-Fried. Outside of that, he goes on, I think just getting to a position and as a space where there is regulatory clarity for those who are looking for it, and whether there are clear ways to register products will help a lot, because right now, if it's not even clear how to register, then you're going to get a lot of unregulated products with no oversight. And that is not what we want, because then we're going to get a lot more Celsiuses and a lot more issues, right? What happened with the Terra Luna coin and the crash on Terra Luna's US dollar coin, that was horrible. And you could argue that that's one of the things that made this crypto downturn so bad, right? Bull cycles, bear cycles exist, but it's factors like these that make bull markets or bear markets better or worse, right? And this bear market has been pretty bad because of some of these issues. And so my point in this video, guys, is that there is a lot to talk about, but SEC chair is doubling down on the need to regulate cryptocurrencies, and people are going to label this as people are going to label this as, hey, this is terrible. This is really bad for the markets. He wants to kill crypto. He's the devil, right? And that's the thought, hence my thumbnail, right? A lot of people are thinking that way, but I'm here to tell you guys that it's, it is a good thing in the end. FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried agrees, right? We don't want Three Arrows Capitals of the world. We don't want the Celsius, the irresponsible actors in the space, right? Binance CEO is putting together a regulatory board so that they can get compliance globally, so that they can make sure we can expand crypto in a responsible manner, right? Cryptocom acquiring companies strategically in different countries so they can make sure that they're within the regulatory framework of each country. It's a tricky game, but the moral of the story is these exchange tokens, guys, are at the forefront of all of this. And these guys are the leaders of a very big movement in terms of making sure that the government does not kill crypto, but it helps guide crypto in a responsible direction so that it does become one of the greatest financial tools for citizens of Earth into the future. And guys, we are getting closer and closer to that every single day. That's all I got for you in today's video. I'm Cryptokip. This is the Crypto Report. Do not forget to smash up the like button and subscribe to the channel. And as always, you got to remember to DCA HODL, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, everybody. I got 2 videos for you right here if you want to check them out. Also, if you want a $4,100 sign-up bonus for signing up for Femex, utilize the link in the description down below. All you got to do is open up a trade, whether you want a long or short Bitcoin. Maybe you think Bitcoin's going to 10K. Maybe you think it's going back up to 25K. Your choice. You can check it out there. That's all I got, guys. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.